the food delivery, a pequeno chez Waston eating alone. My name is Samir. I am 32 years old, and I did not find out my fiancée was cheating because I went through her phone or followed her car or hacked her accounts. I found out because a food delivery app told me she was ordering romantic dinners to an address we did not live at. Again and again and again. While I sat at home eating leftovers thinking she was working late, I met Ayesha 4 years ago at a friend's game night. Everyone was loud, arguing about rules, throwing cards. I was the quiet one in the corner trying to understand why a board game needed a 30-page rulebook. She was the loud one explaining it. You see, she said, waving a card in the air, you can't just attack without resources. That's chaos. You need strategy. I looked at her. Dark hair in a messy bun, big eyes, animated hands. Do people ever understand this? I asked. She laughed. Not the first time, she said, but they pretend. We ended up on the same team. We lost. Badly. On the way out, I said, you are very confident for someone who just lost. She grinned. Losing is fine, she said. I only care if I had fun. We started talking after that. Coffee, walks, late night calls. She worked in marketing for a startup. I worked in accounting for a logistics company. She was all color and ideas. I was spreadsheets and quiet jokes. Somehow it worked. 2 years in, we moved into a small apartment together. Top floor, leaky ceiling, view of the city skyline if you craned your neck at exactly the right angle. She loved ordering food. I refused to spend my 20s washing dishes every day, she said. So we made a shared account on a food delivery app. Same login, same saved cards, same addresses. We'd sit on the couch, scroll through options, and she'd say, tonight we're having Thai, no arguments. We were that couple. The ones with too many takeaway bags and not enough matching plates. We got engaged last year. Simple proposal. No flash mobs, no fireworks, just me, a ring, and shaking hands in the small park where we'd had our first real argument. She cried, said yes, called me the safest place she'd ever known. I believed her. Of course I did. Everything changed when she got promoted. New title, head of brand partnerships, new money, new responsibilities, new stress. At first I was proud. We're celebrating, I said. I'm ordering from that expensive burger place. No arguments. She laughed. Kissed me. You're the best, she said. I couldn't have done it without your boring stability. Glad my boring pays the bills, I joked. The first few weeks were intense. Sorry, I'll be late, she'd text. Client call ran over. Don't wait for me to eat, she'd add. So I didn't. I'd heat leftovers, watch something, wait up. She'd come home around 10 or 11, sometimes later, tired, drained. She'd drop her bag, kick off her shoes, and collapse on the couch. Long day? I'd ask. She'd nod. Kill me, she'd say. Clients are idiots. I didn't push. I wanted to be supportive. I wanted to be the fiancé who understands career goals. But slowly, late nights stopped being once in a while. They became routine, 3 times a week, sometimes more. Always the same pattern. Don't wait up. I'll eat something on the way. I told myself, this is what success looks like. Busy, tired, out of sync. It happens, right? The first time the food delivery app whispered something was wrong, I ignored it. I was scrolling my emails one afternoon, deleting spam, flash sales, newsletters I never remember subscribing to. Then I saw it. Your order is on the way, said an email from our food app. I frowned. I hadn't ordered anything. I was at work. It was 4 p.m. I clicked. The order was from our shared account. Restaurant. A fancy Italian place we'd only used twice for special occasions. Items. 2 main pastas. 1 tiramisu. 1 bottle of house red. Delivery address not our apartment. A hotel. Across town. Room number in the note field. Please call when outside room 804. My stomach tightened. I checked the time. Order placed at 3:40 p.m. Delivered at 4:45 p.m. in the middle of a workday. I told myself it must be a mistake. Maybe her company was having a meeting there. Maybe they were catering. Maybe someone else had used our login. I messaged her. Hey, did you order fancy pasta for someone rich without inviting me? A few minutes later, she replied, haha, oh that. Client lunch ran over. They wanted Italian. I just used our account because the company card is being weird. I'll transfer you the money later. I stared at the screen. The explanation made sense. Kind of. She worked in brand partnerships, clients, presentations, lunches. Of course they'd use nice places. Okay, I typed. Remember I exist next time there's tiramisu. She replied with a heart emoji. I moved on. The small voice in my head said, why a hotel though? The louder voice said, don't be that guy. Months passed. Life became a blur of work and late nights. Wedding planning was always later. We're both slammed, she'd say. We'll book the venue next month, I promise. One evening I opened the food app to order a burger, big fries, comfort. When I clicked deliver to, I saw a list of saved addresses, our apartment, my office, her office, and then a new one. Hotel Maven, room 804. I froze. It was saved like any other address. No accident. No one-time input. I clicked it. The address popped up. Same hotel from the pasta order. Same room. A chill ran through me. I clicked order history. Set the filter to deliveries to Hotel Maven. The screen filled with past orders. Dozens. My heart dropped. Pastas. Sushi sets for two. Steak for two. Always with dessert, always with a bottle of wine or some fancy drink. Dates going back months. Times mostly between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Middle of the day. Middle of meetings. And always to room 804. I scrolled with numb fingers. One order had a note that made my skin crawl. Under delivery instructions, please leave at the door if no answer. Honeymooners don't want to be interrupted. Shh. I swallowed hard. Honeymooners. We weren't even married yet. And someone was using that kind of joke on our shared account. I checked who paid. All of them were charged to the same card. Hers. The one she'd added after the promotion. So this wasn't someone hacking our login. It was her. Over and over. I could feel my pulse in my ears. Still, my brain tried to rescue me. Maybe it really is clients. Maybe she just uses the same room for meetings. Maybe the company has a deal there. I almost believed it. Almost. That night, she came home around 10. Tired. Makeup smudged. Long day, she said, dropping her bag. I'm dead. I watched her take her shoes off. Something in me had shifted. I wasn't angry yet, just paying attention. How was the client lunch? I asked casually. She frowned. Which one? The one at the Maven, I said. Her eyes flicked up to mine for a fraction of a second. Then she smiled. You stalking my emails? She joked. Just saw an order notification, I said. You know I care about pasta integrity. She laughed. It was fine, she said. Boring. Old guys arguing about budgets. Why? I studied her face. The small twitch in her jaw. The way she fiddled with her earrings. No reason, I said. Just wondered why we never have romantic hotel pasta but your clients do. She rolled her eyes. This again, she snapped. You always do this. Turn normal work things into investigations. That's not true, I said calmly. I asked one question. She sighed loudly. I'm tired, she said. I don't want to do this weird jealous thing tonight. Can we not? I'm not jealous, I replied softly. I'm confused. There's a saved address in our app for that hotel. Room 804. With a lot of orders just the last few months. I didn't put it there. She stiffened, then forced a shrug. Sometimes we use the hotel for shoots, she said. Content, I told you. Influencer stuff. It's easier than bringing everyone to the office. Do you always order dinner for two for the camera? I asked quietly. Her eyes flashed. You know what? She said. I'm done. I'm done feeling like I'm on trial because I got a promotion. You've been weird ever since. That's not true, I said. It is, she insisted. Every time I work late, you act like I'm lying. Maybe you're just not ready for someone who actually has a career. There it was, the flip. From my question to my issue, I took a breath. I'm happy about your career, I said quietly. I'm not happy about feeling like there's a part of your life I only access through email receipts. She shook her head. This is exhausting, she muttered. I'm going to shower. She walked away, left me in the living room with the echo of that phrase so many cheaters use. You're exhausting, you're jealous, you're overreacting. The thing is, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just early. 2 weeks later, the food app stopped whispering and started shouting. It was a Saturday. We were meant to have a date day. Brunch, shopping, movie. She canceled in the morning. Sorry, she said, putting on mascara in the hallway mirror. Last minute brand workshop. Team's going to a co-working space near the river. We'll do our date tomorrow, okay? I looked at her outfit. Not her usual meeting clothes. Not the casual jeans she wore to the office. A dress I'd never seen. Not fancy like a wedding guest dress, but chosen. Thoughtful. You're doing a workshop on a Saturday? I asked. Welcome to hustle culture, she joked, kissing my cheek. I'll text you. The door closed. I sat on the couch, stared at nothing. My brain tried to talk me down. Stop, she's just busy. You're going to ruin this by being suspicious. I sighed, picked up my phone, opened a game. 40 minutes later, a push notification slid down from the top of my screen. From the food delivery app. Your order from Casa Rosa is confirmed. My heart jumped. I hadn't ordered anything. I tapped it. Order details opened. Restaurant. Casa Rosa. One of those cute romantic places with too much ambiance and not enough food. I scrolled. Items. 2 lovers platter mains. 1. 1 shareable dessert board. Extra cutlery for 2. Delivery time estimated 10:05 p.m. Delivery address. Hotel Maven. Room 804. I stared. For a second, I couldn't breathe. It was Saturday. No client lunch excuse. No workday meeting story. Just lunch. For 2. At the same hotel she claimed was for work. I checked the payment method, her card. I checked the account activity. User. Ayesha. Location, iPhone, current. I opened our shared location app. Her dot was not at any co-working space. It was moving towards the same hotel. Toward room 804. My hands were suddenly cold. I watched the little icon glide across the map like a slow knife. Hotel. Parking. Then stop. Arrived. The order status changed to out for delivery. I sat there, phone in hand, feeling like I was about to vomit. I could have ignored it. Pretended I hadn't seen. Waited for her to come home with some new story about team bonding. But there's a point where pretending feels worse than knowing. I put on my jacket, picked up my keys, left. The hotel lobby was warm and quiet. Too quiet. Soft jazz. Polished floors. Staff trained to smile and ignore. I walked to the front desk. Good afternoon, the receptionist said. How can I help? My mouth felt dry. I'm meeting someone in 804, I said. Could you tell me if they've checked in? She smiled politely. Let me see, she said, typing. Yes, she said after a moment. Ms. Ayesha Malik checked in about half an hour ago. My chest tightened. I nodded. Thanks, I said. My ears were ringing. I walked to the lift, pressed 8. My reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger. On the 8th floor, the carpet muffled my steps. 802, 803. I stopped. From inside, I heard music. A laugh. Her laugh. I stood there for a second, hand hovering over the door. You imagine these moments being dramatic, kicking down doors, yelling. In reality, it feels like being underwater. Slow, muted. I knocked. Silence. Whispering. Then who is it? Her voice. I swallowed. It's the delivery, I said. My voice came out flat. I heard a low male voice. Didn't they already? Just a second, she called. The chain slid. The door opened a crack. Her face appeared. Hair loose. Makeup on. Not for work. For someone. She saw me. All the color drained out of her cheeks. Samir, she whispered. What are you? I pushed the door gently but firmly. It opened. Inside, the room looked like something from an advert. Half-finished food on the table, wine glasses, her jacket on the chair. A man stood near the bed holding his shirt like he'd just picked it up off the floor. He was younger, hair gelled, tattoo peeking from his sleeve. He stared at me. I stared back. No one spoke. I held up my phone. The food app screen still open to delivered to room 804. And here I was, I said quietly, thinking we had no budget for date nights. Ayesha's eyes filled with tears. Samir, it's not, don't, I cut in. Don't say it's not what it looks like, because if it isn't, I genuinely have no idea what else this could be. The guy opened his mouth. Look, man, I held up a hand. Don't, I said again. I don't know you. I'm not talking to you. I turned to her. How long have you been using our date money, I asked, to feed someone else? She started crying. You don't understand, she said. You're right, I replied. I don't. Start explaining. She grabbed a tissue, sat on the edge of the bed. Her hands were trembling. His shirt was still in his hands. He looked awkward, not guilty so much as annoyed the level failed. I didn't mean for it to get this far, she said. There it is, I said softly. The sentence everyone says right before listing all the ways they absolutely meant it. She winced. We started as friends, she said. He's a consultant. We worked on a campaign together. We had to stay late a lot. Then one night we were both tired and we ordered food to finish a deck, and you decided our joint account was the easiest way to cheat, I finished. She shook her head. It wasn't like that, she whispered. Really? I asked, because from where I'm standing it looks like you booked the same room, over and over, ordered food for two, and told me you were working on your future with me. Her tears spilled over. I love you, she said. I swear I do. This was just an escape. I laughed. It sounded like a cough. An escape, I repeated. From what? Me? Our tiny apartment? Our cheap takeaways? She looked up. You don't get it, she said. At home, it's bills and laundry and your long days and family asking about the wedding. With him, it was easy. No responsibilities. Just being wanted. Being wanted, I said slowly. You could have told me you didn't feel wanted. I tried, she insisted. You always said, we'll plan something after month end. Everything was after. Maybe it was, I said. Maybe it was, I said. Maybe I was too tired. Too focused on saving, too busy planning the life we were supposed to share. But I did not book hotel rooms and tell you I was just tired. She wiped her face. I thought I could keep it separate, she whispered. Work, him, you, home, like two lives. You used one app, I said. You used our shared app. There were never two lives, just one life with too many stories. The guy shifted. I'm just going to... He started. You're going to stay, I said calmly without looking at him. You're in this scene too. He went quiet. Can we go home and talk? She asked suddenly. Please. Not here. Not like this. There is nothing to talk about at home, I said. Home was the place I thought we were honest. She flinched. This is the worst thing I've ever done, she whispered. I hate myself. I hate that you saw this. I was going to end it. When? I asked. Soon, she said weakly. Soon, I repeated, after one more lunch, one more room, one more escape, paid with the money we were saving for our wedding. She started to sob. Please, she said. We've been together for years. We're engaged. Don't throw us away over this. The phrase rang in my ears, over this, as if this were a broken plate. Not months of deliberate choices. I took a slow breath. This, I said, is exactly why I can't marry you. Her head snapped up. What? I cannot stand in front of everyone and promise to trust you, I said, knowing that while I was choosing napkin colors, you were choosing wine for a man in room 804. She shook her head frantically. No, she cried. You don't mean that. You're angry. You'll calm down. We can fix it. We can go to therapy. I'll cut him off. I'll change jobs. I'll delete my accounts. I'll do anything. I believe you, I said. In this moment, I truly believe you would burn your whole life down to keep me. But the thing is, I shouldn't have to ask. I shouldn't have to be a condition for your honesty." Her shoulders shook. "Please," she whispered, "I love you." I looked at her, at the woman I had planned to marry, at the room she'd chosen to be someone else in. "I loved who I thought you were," I said softly. "I don't love this version who can lie so smoothly and then cry on command when she's caught." I turned to leave. She grabbed my wrist. "Don't," she begged. "Don't go like this." I pulled my arm free. "For once," I said quietly. "I'm listening to the part of me you kept calling jealous and paranoid. Turns out it was just early warning." I stepped out into the hallway. The door clicked shut behind me. This time I didn't look back. People ask, was that the worst day? It wasn't. The worst days came after, when I had to call my parents and tell them there would be no wedding. When I had to email the venue we'd tentatively booked and say, "Something has happened. We're canceling." When friends asked what happened and I chose the simple version, it didn't work out because I didn't have the energy to replay room 804 over and over. Ayesha texted, called, sent paragraphs. "I'm sorry. I'll change. You're my home. I made a mistake." I blocked her, not out of hate, out of self-preservation, because every time I saw her name, I remembered the food app notification. "Your order is confirmed to Hotel Maven." I stayed with a friend for a while, sat on his sofa, stared at the wall, didn't eat much, didn't sleep much. Grief for a living person is a strange thing. It's like watching your future have a car crash in slow motion, then being told to get up and go to work like nothing happened. I went to therapy, sat in a small room with tissues on the table, told the story, the pasta, the saved address, the lunches, room 804. The therapist listened, then said, "You didn't fail because you trusted. She failed because she used that trust to build a second life over yours." I thought a lot about that line, because for weeks my brain kept saying, "How did you not see it? How did you miss something so obvious?" The answer is simple. I didn't want to. Love is not blind. It just doesn't always want glasses. If you're still listening, maybe your stomach flipped at some point. Maybe you've seen a weird receipt, a random address, a pattern that doesn't quite make sense. Maybe your partner has started using words like, "You're overthinking," "You're too sensitive," "You're jealous," every time you ask a simple question. Maybe you keep telling yourself, "It's just work. It's just stress. It's just me." I'm not here to tell you to become a detective, to track every order, to stalk every map, but I am here to say this. When the story and the details don't match, you are not crazy for noticing. If someone says, "I'm in a workshop," and the receipts say romantic lunch for two at a hotel, that's not paranoia. That's data. If someone says, "I'm exhausted from work," but somehow always has energy for the same person, the same place, the same pattern, you are not wrong to feel like something is off. Trust doesn't mean closing your eyes. Trust means saying, "I believe you," and expecting their actions not to make you feel like an idiot for it. If you find yourself holding proof you never wanted, a food receipt, a chat log, a location pin, you don't owe anyone your silence just to keep the peace. Peace built on lies is just quiet panic. My name is Samir. A food delivery app told me my fiancé was never really eating alone. For a long time, that felt like the most humiliating thing in the world. Now it feels like a strange form of mercy. Because without those receipts, those addresses, that stupid little notification, I might still be sitting on the couch ordering us dinner, waiting for a woman who was already eating somewhere else. If you're standing where I stood, between suspicion and proof, I can't tell you what choice to make. Stay, go, try, walk. That's your life. But I can tell you this, you are not dramatic for wanting your partner's behavior to match their words. You are not jealous for asking why their lunch receipts look like date nights. We're not crazy for refusing to keep living in a story someone else wrote without you. Sometimes the apps, the photos, the little notifications will show you the truth before they do. When that happens, believe what you see. and believe that you deserve a love that doesn't need a secret address or hidden room to feel alive.